We have to do the newspapers, and we're up there. But also, we have a breast cancer segment for tomorrow. It's all part of the whole package as we bring you the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're partnering right here on the show because I'm the ambassador. You know, I'm putting on the ribbon throughout each day of the month just to be part of the whole sensitization process and business as well. And we're going to have a survivor on the show tomorrow, and I know that definitely you will enjoy that package. But in the meantime, Joseph Akabla is here, and Joseph, you were in court. Charlie, it was not small. It looks like matters have come to a head, haven't they?
Yes, I mean, the start of a long trial could last months or years, perhaps.
Oh, really?
Yes. I mean
you and the Attorney General and government in general, you whetted our appetite for nothing.
for
because
it
yeah. Oh no,
I'm not sure.
You know, like a layman.
I'm not sure.
Like
the AG
you know, a foot soldier like me, I thought that maybe the thing will be wrapping up in 3 months or 4 months.
I'm not sure the AG promised the speedy trial. She can't actually do that. No one can assure that in Ghana. And within that period, you can have the case moved to the appeals court, moved to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Depending on what kind of applications people are making.
Then we're in for great spectatorship then. Okay. So so what was the atmosphere yesterday?
It was quite more of I mean, a lot of people looking forward to what exactly is going to happen. Those who were present in the courtroom were anxious, because it's a commercial court. There are obviously other cases that are dealt with, so they waited patiently till that case was called. So it was initially a long wait because as at 8:30 a.m. the courtroom was already full. And
wow!
All those who had come in didn't appear to be connected to the other cases that were being heard in the courtroom. They had obviously come in to watch the very big one, which they had heard about, which they wanted to see.
Okay, so they were just normal members of the public, or sometimes maybe jurors or those who are with the bar, etc.?
There are persons who are connected to the individuals who were brought into the courtroom, and some of them too are other lawyers who either they don't have cases to attend to, or they simply find this one equally interesting to come and hang around and have a look.
We'll go through the newspaper soon, but as we do that, there was something that you wrote, and I read it again, and I keep reading over the years. When they say the bill summed up in the surety, 675, what does it mean? That each person, or when you sum them up? Okay,
so there are mostly the number of bill types and the number of conditions that it comes with, and so mostly the sum that is posted as the bail condition. And so for this incident, for each of them, a bail condition of 200 million was set.
Oh, okay.
Million. So for the first three, it was 200 million each, and the final businesswoman was 75 million. And so that is what we put together to make 675 million. If you are given a bail condition is set and they say that it's to be justified, that means that before you be allowed to walk home, you need to find people who have landed properties worth the amount that has been set.
Or have cash.
No, they don't go for cash because cash could be easily dissipated. So they don't normally go for cash. They want landed properties. So houses, land.
To be justified.
If they say to be justified. But in this instance, they said it's not to be justified. And so all what it means is that you have to find people who are gainfully employed, have identifiable residence. Then they sign that in the event you walk away, we have to go after them and sell their properties worth 200 million cedis each and 75 million for the businesswoman. And so the difference is that with the justification, we need to check whether they have that before we proceed to go ahead and let you walk away. Whilst without the justification, that is not the case.
And the last accused, I'll be the fourth.
Yes.
Why is hers 75 million?
So what the courts normally do is that they look at the figures involved in terms of the offenses. And for her, the accusation that has been leveled against her is an amount of 70 million that she's said to have received from Capital Bank, which they attempted to withdraw. And so that is the amount that is in question. That's why the court fixed it at 75.
Okay, I won't put you on your head on the sword, but I wanted to ask, it means that Nidia light across any problem.
70 million to this Roland.
Okay. All right, so quickly start with the Ghanaian Times for me. Today we don't have the Daily Graphic because we've had a mix-up with the delivery. So pardon us for the absence of the Daily Graphic today.
The front page of the Ghanaian Times, it says Kotoka ranked best airports in West Africa. That is on page 16 of the Ghanaian Times. Police arrest 35 suspected criminals at Bantama. It's also on the front page. And Dr. Awal honored for contribution to development of Northern Region. And Ghana, Nigeria to meet over border trade and dispute. That is on page 16. There's a photograph of the Foreign Affairs Minister, as you can see on your screen. The back page of the Ghanaian Times has the story about 11,000 graduates exit NABCO for permanent employment, and DNA complaints of inadequate government subvention. Also on the back page of the Ghanaian Times, the center spread has that story about Kotoka being ranked the best airport in West Africa, and the Y Airport commences commercial flight operation. Also in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times.
And we have to mention that for the Y Airport, there was the maiden flight by AWA, that's Africa World Airlines, and the pilot, were told, was an indigene of the region, of the area. That'll be a good one. You're done?
Yes, with the Ghanaian Times.
Okay.
We maybe do some details later, but the Ghanaian publisher has...
we haven't done the back. Have you done the back page?
Yes, I've done the back page. Okay, so let me do the Finder instead. The Finder, the front page of the Finder has court grants 675 million cedi bail to Atu Esi and 3 others who deny charges in Capital Bank collapse. Dr. Awal honored by Northern Regional MPP Communications Team. Natoshi rallies support for MMDC's referendum, and law students push for reforms in petition to president. That is on the front page of the Finder. The center spread has some stories there. Okay, so it's commercial, so no story in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times, but we can move on and do the Ghanaian publisher now. IGP moves to stop extortion, and the story about Natoshi rallying support for MMDC's referendum is also on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher. And Atu Esi and 3 others granted 675 million bail, also on the front page. The final one for me will be the Gold Street and the Daily Statesman. Daily Statesman first. It says Shraj urges students to fight against corruption, and aviation will power our growth, says Akufo-Addo, the president. NDC has nothing to offer. That is coming from Frema Osei Opare. She's the chief of staff, speaking to the NPP Women for 2020 campaign. The back page of the Statesman says has some sports story: Bulgaria versus England, racism, Bulgarian Football Union president, and you can find details of that story there. And appear in Netherlands to watch Ghanaian players set to leave for Spain. Oh wow, Kwesi Appiah is still coach of the Black Stars.
I'm even surprised that he's even going to the extent of still traveling. So he's just traveling to scout for players, and we'll go to the African Cup of Nations and we perform woefully. I'm surprised.
We'll see about that. But microfinance interest rates crash. That is on the front page of the Gold Street Business. And Ghana-Burkina Railway project at procurement stage. And GSA Chamber of Mines develops standards for mining companies. And so that is it for the front pages and the center spread and the back pages.
Well, it's no gainsaying that we do need a railway line from Accra all through to the Burkina Faso border. Look, we do need one. Okay, so let's before we you haven't done some others, right? The Gold Street Business and you've done the Gold Street. Have you done the Statesman?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's do the Daily Guide. The Daily Guide has on the front page top bankers slapped with 675 million Ghana cedi bail. Has an attack picture of Atu Esi and looks to be the one who seemed to be attracting the bees as a hive. He's the most infamous of the individuals in there, because of obvious reasons. Now, beauty queens dragged to Juju. This one is exciting. I'll give you detail of this. If you get to read, it's quite exciting. And talking about the court, Supreme Court bounces ex-netballs. He has a tight picture of Ernest Thompson. And Kumasi robber grabbed at hospital. I'll tell you about that. This one was also committed a crime and subsequently Charlie went to grab it at hospital. Kotoka, best in West Africa. We'll tell you about all those details when we do AM Business. Remember, the segment AM Business is always brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Let's go to the center spread. The center spread is a News One pullout. I hope we have it, even if we don't have it. It says Victoria Michaels shines at AFI Fashion Week. Frank Raja, I know that he's a director, gets Netflix attention with In My Country, because it's among the list of Nigerian movies which will start showing on America's major streaming platform, Netflix. Do you watch Netflix in Ghana?
Yes, I do. Yes.
You have a broadband at home?
No.
So what do you use in watching?
I use mobile data mostly, and sometimes I have a self-line device that I use as well. So I mostly, but I prefer to download. I don't stream well. I mean, you know.
Okay, so you download on the app?
Yes.
Okay.
I watch it.
Okay, you can do that as well.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just ignorant about some of these the streaming. I'm only, because of the data bill.
Yeah.
It's because of that. Yeah. Industrial cottage for Kumbungu, and it's also center spread. And government clears $300 million legacy debts, or $300 million of the legacy debts. Okay, so we have more outstanding. We have Barclays Bank sends Ghanaian SMEs to Turkey and China. And on the back page, records look for me according to Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, you're saying Chinen Kamfoneho, but Cristiano Ronaldo is somebody who likes praising himself. He has acknowledged that he's good. And indeed, he's good. He is one great footballer who brags but lives up to the billing. Not like Paul Pogba of Manchester United. We have England fan 32 die and resign with immediate effect. Bulgarian Prime Minister tells football chief. And we know that in that match that the national team played with the Lions of England, there was all the accusations about racism. Indeed, the English players said they were almost compelled to stop, but some of them said they were expected to continue because they wanted to honor. But this story, Center Spread, says beauty queens dragged to Juju. And this is how the story goes. It says that the Eastern Regional Police Command is investigating a bizarre case in which some beauty queens were allegedly beaten by a ritualist known in local parlance as Juju over 500 Ghana cedis. And this is what happened. 10 of the girls who contested the Miss Commonwealth Ghana pageant were allegedly taken to the Juju man by the organizer of the pageant, Princess Duncan, after one of the girls complained that her 500 Ghana cedis had been stolen by one of the girls. You know, one of those incidents in which a group of people are together and they decide to take those who were present to Juju.
Yeah, I've experienced that before.
You have?
Yeah.
I have too. And the money was there in 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the money was stolen, and we were told that all of us who were there, our names were sent, and the money came back in 3 days. Wonderful. Same place where they suspected the money will get missed.
I see.
Or
so
got
it works.
missed. From what I saw, yeah, it worked. Okay, so the Deputy Eastern Regional Police PRO confirmed that the incident happened and said Princess Duncan, who sent the girls to the fetish priest, popularly known in the area Kukurantumi in the Achimbi-Bwakwa North Municipality, and 4 others along the fetish priest are under investigation. Quite bizarre, but it happened. Okay, now let me tell you about this story as well. A Kumasi robber who was grabbed at the hospital. This will be exciting. It's a suspected armed robber, and you usually will go to the court. And this one, Rahuf Muhammad, who fled with gunshot wounds after a shootout with the police at an incident site in Ofoikom in Kumasi, subsequently got arrested. And you know where? The suspect was dropped off at the Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital for medical attention with the help of an accomplice. And it was there that he was nabbed. Quite funny. It was there that they got to find him.
I see, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, but I want to know, I know you, but since you're familiar with issues that tend to arise at the court, the Gold Coast people, what can they do? Because they keep complaining they haven't, you know, yesterday they convened, while you were at the court, convened a big one.
Yes.
Do they have any remediation at the court?
Yes, they do. So there are a number of ways they could go the civil way by filing a civil action against the company, saying that the company owes them and is refusing to pay. Or alternatively, if they feel that maybe some form of crime has been committed, like say, maybe perhaps they've been defrauded, as we have seen some of the men's good customers do, they have to go to the police station and file a complaint that this person promised that if I bring my money, he's going to give me a certain interest over a certain period. And so far, I've not been able to get my interest. I'm trying to access my principal. I'm also not getting. Then the state investigates and prosecutes the individuals who are involved. And so those are the two options that they have for now. Yeah.
Let's go to the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Has on the front page, Buhari orders Nigeria's borders closed till 2020. And I tell you, some neighbors are not happy, including Ghana. And we're protesting. But Charlie, this one is sovereign rights. Or Joseph, what do you think?
You want to go to Nigeria?
Yeah, I haven't been to Nigeria in a while, yes. Okay. But I don't mind. If I want to go, I think I'll get a proper clearance and the permits, and I'll still go. I'm not sure that. But this one is a land border, so okay. the one at Seme border, we're told. 5 funny town names in Ghana, and I tell you, when you go to page 11, we all do know that sometimes we have funny names around the country in some of the communities we have, and it says, okay, so this one was published on a news portal, and some of the towns are quite interesting. I think you're already familiar with some of them. For example, we have Etwenim Nyansa. That's vagina is wise. If you have to do the translation from tree. And then you have some other ones. I think, let me just pause here.
I thought you said there are 5 of them.
Yeah, no, it's okay. One is okay.
Okay.
So we have, let's work hard to ensure MPP's victory in 2020. And that's a story attributed to the railway minister, Joe Gatti. Also is an MP in the region as well. And let's go to the Today newspaper. Says the Today newspaper says trotro drivers abandon commuters and school children are hard hit. And this one is for residents and those who tend to ply the unmotorable roads in the Ablekuman, Afuaman area. And Joseph says he used to live at Kaswa. And some of his roads were bad. Oh.
No, the roads were good. The roads were good, yeah.
Okay.
But this area, I know the area quite well.
Yeah.
I've been there a number of times. And the roads are terrible. Like, they are not roads, it's just a path where cars move. They are not roads. Yeah.
I remember, was it last year or the early part of this year, we went to do a story in Sakina, just also in the Ablekuman area. And the roads are bad. Again, on the front page of the Today newspaper, exposed, leader of Gold Coast demonstration fully paid. So that's what the paper is saying.
That's on Today newspaper, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Even yesterday, there was a press release by one of the firms.
It's Gold Coast. It's just
they've rebranded.
Yes, that's
yes. They've renamed the company, and they said at the time that demonstration was ongoing, said the leader of the demonstration. But I was saying that it doesn't matter. It's just solidarity. He's the one who is convening the event. It doesn't mean that once he's paid, he shouldn't solidarize, so to speak. If there's any
the question should be whether they are individuals who truly have their monies there that have not been paid to them, not about whether someone who is leading them has been paid or not. I mean, I think that should be how the company should look at the conversation and ensure that they go through the various processes possible to get
because there are lots of people who still say they still have their money. And then we're told, just this morning, we're told that now they are almost like negotiating some better terms, using items.
And you see, the bit of the sociological context we find ourselves in is that which we don't have a lot of people investing or saving. Yes. So we've come a long way to convince people to try and invest and want to save their monies. And the institutions, however the period, I mean, clearly some of them are failing us. And so you have people, if you're not careful, they'll revert to the status quo in the past where
people want to keep their monies in some other investment or at home.
They put it under their pillows, dig and put it there like we used to hear, and among other things.
Okay, let's go to the new publisher paper. It says, data rollover directive. Go to court if you are unhappy. It says, the minister is telling unhappy telecommunication companies, and we brought you details of this as well. Don't sell KJTIA shops to foreigners. That's the Ghana Union of Traders Association warning the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. It's a warning that, according to this paper, they have to take seriously. Now, we have IGP chasing corrupt officers, calls for secret recordings of police extortions. And I don't know. elsewhere they have body cams. I hope that he's providing body cams as well. Provide the body cams. And I'm not guilty. Capital Bank founder and Zoom Lion also celebrates Maiden Safety Week. And it's a whole safety month as various companies celebrate Safety Week across the country and the world, actually. And was the main protagonist in all this drama there, Mr. Atuesian?
Yes, he was in court.
He was in court?
Yes.
Tell me, can you describe what his demeanor was?
He looked calm. He looked calm. In fact, I was interacting with one of the defense lawyers just when you called to speak to me on the show. And so when I was on the phone with you, he just walked past me and said hello to the lawyer and stood by the entrance of the court and just entered. He looked calm. He sat down when they were called. They stood up and they walked up front. I mean, this is just early days. I mean, this is at a time to remain calm, because even before you go to the court, you are clear in your mind what exactly is going to happen. You know that you are going to read the charges against you. You have to respond either guilty or not guilty. Afterwards, then the bit about a bail is discussed. And so mostly first day before you go to the court, you know exactly what is going to happen. And so it's not really that much of a tensed situation as many may expect. I mean, the part that will be a lot of anxiety is not close. It's like long ahead. That is when the court has decided that on this day, Roland will be delivering judgment in the case. And that is when you are going in, you'll be worried knowing that it could be that the home you came from, you may not be returning. And that is the interesting thing about our legal system. If you are taken to court on judgment day and they find you guilty and they sentence you, then they take you to the cells. They don't allow you to go home and say, okay, let me go and arrange stuff and like as if I'm traveling or I'm going away before you're allowed to go. Then you are taken away. So that is it relating to that case. So he was calm. He came in. The others too, same with them. Calm. They looked well composed. They sat and were called upon and responded to their charges as they were read against them. So it's early days, yet there's a directive coming from the judge, Justice Eric Cheba, for that the documents that the state intends to use in the course of the trial, and that flows from a Supreme Court decision, the Republic versus Eugene Bafo-Boni. And in that case, the Supreme Court ruled that, I mean, disclosure should be the way forward. Before a case, we no longer do ambush litigation, where you hide some documents and in the course of the trial, you just bring it up on Roland and say that this is not sure that you transferred some money. No, this time around, the state has to give all those things to the person before the case even starts.
But we do also know that in company law, sometimes, unless you remove the veil of incorporation, the acts of those individuals sometimes will just somehow not be unveiled in some regard. Could not be linked to them as individuals, but are also just the fault of the company at the end of the day.
Yes, but in this particular instance, per the case that has been filed and the facts that were read out by the Attorney General, she says that the individuals, in fact, so the stealing relates to stealing from the company. And so the individuals who one includes a majority shareholder, are said to have stolen from.
And that was what Dr. Dominic Ayeni was contesting in that interaction.
His point had to do with the fourth accused person, who is a businesswoman, and he says she did business with a bank. And so how could someone steal from the bank with the consent of the bank? Because he says it went through the processes at the bank in order for the money to be granted to her, and so she cannot be said to have stolen money from the bank. And so that was his concern there. But the Attorney General, Gloria Kufu, disagrees, and she makes the point that, I mean, the money that she's talking about is money that was given by the central bank as liquidity support and was to be used to revive Capital Bank. And so if that money is misused and used in various forms, says that money was not given to the individuals, and so you cannot say that, I mean, that does not amount to stealing, in her opinion. And so these are all matters that in the course of the trial, evidence will be adduced, evidence will be cross-examined, and the court will come to a determination as to whether there is a case that Atuesian must answer to or not.
Yeah. Well, it's a good one there. We'll be educating ourselves on all that transpired yesterday and then what we should look forward to in all this. Now, let's go to myjoyonline.com, and Joseph will take us through what the content are of myjoyonline.com.
The first one says, resolution from militia talks won't yield results. It's according to the NDC. Nigeria criticized for closing borders and markets to Ghanaian traders. 4 charged with stealing 40 ties belonging to PDS. You can find details of that story. They've been granted bail with 2 sureties each. And Wild West records 361 pregnancies among school children in 9 months. Some more stories on my Online. State reveals how Atuesian allegedly squandered 130 million cedis meant to save Capital Bank. Women's wing of KNUST SRC feeds 1,000 needy students. Missing at sea, police investigates disappearance of 2. The final story on Major Online says broken bridge and broken promises leave 7 dead, and it has a photograph of a car that has about 50% of its body parts dipped in the water, and there are some people trying to pull out the car. Apparently, very sad story. The broken bridge and broken promises leave 7 dead. That is it for my journal. There's this other story about I'll resign if indeed Mahama said he will scrap free senior high school. That's according to Johnson Esievin Ketia, who is the general secretary of the opposition NDC.
Okay. Well, so we have Benedict with the latest sports roundup, and Benedict is all set for the GFA elections.
Something like that, but you know we're still having issues in court. Akable is here, and it's good that he's here. He will tell us. My interpretation of the law is not that good, I have to admit, because last time when I went to court, I actually consulted him even before I went on radio.
Don't worry.
So I understand
we know that
it's
not your specialty. Yeah.
Yesterday, another person also has filed for an injunction. I don't know if that will affect the process, but we are able to get interpretation to that. So what it means is that one guy who is affiliated to a 3rd division club in Ningo Pram, Africa 11, has also gone to court. So we'll wait to see how that will, impact on the elections. But aside that, everything is on course. The candidates will engage in a debate. So as we normally see with that of the general elections, we are going to see same with this very one, and it's going to be the normalization committee. They are actually organizing it in partnership with Multimedia, Happy FM, that's Global Media Alliance, and the Ghana Broadcasting Association. So that's what is happening in terms of the GFA election. But Welanin, Blay, 10 years ago, where were you guys 10 years ago? You remember the FIFA Under-20 World Cup? Do you remember?
Is that not the one that the day are you? The day are you captain? Yes.
Exactly. The one that the day are you captain that Celestete was coach of the team. Well, today is exactly 10 years ago. Ghana became the first team on the continent to win the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. So we'll show clips of what happened then, and then we'll speak to Baba Tando. Rashida Baba Tando was in Egypt then.
I remember.
Exactly. That was when I think it was at TV3 then.
Yes.
You were also at TV3.
Yes, I was at TV3.
I was in high school.
Are you sure you were not in JHS?
I was in high school. I remember very well. I remember where I watched the game at the assembly hall. I watched that match. I remember very well.
In your school?
Yes.
Chalusa. Jesus. Hey!
So
but as you do that, it's also the birthday of sweet lady Amma Jemfua, also known as Ferrari. And this one is from Kojo Youngson and all members of the Senators. I'm sure it's a platform. And it says, they all love you with laughter and love. Well, more sports after the break. Stay with us.